Alright, people of the world, this is GTArajgaming. Welcome you back to the channel once again. And tonight, I am not playing Tokyo Extreme Racer. I am in fact playing Gran Turismo 2 Japanese. I had the sudden urge to play and I'm like, let us do it. Let us have a little shebang at the old Gran Turismo. So yeah. Oh, I thought I might just pop on in and have a little bit of fun. And also try out the new retro setup. Or the old but new retro setup. It's the same TV image as before. Except with the change. I mean, yeah, we kind of want to stretch it out. Which is not a phrase I normally say. Oh yeah, that's right, when I double click it just all changes back anyway to what I had it. Because what I'm trying to do is mimic what it was like to have one of these on a CRT. And me, being the age that I am, I actually had one of these on a CRT. For most of my life, if you'd remember the original channel. Way back when, that's how I done my recordings. So, yeah. So I need to finalize sending out my link. And then we shall be Gucci. So there is that. But no, today's been rather positive. I have very much been at the gym and it has been absolutely fantastic. So there we go. Yeah, as you may have caught on, I got a little Vista action going on as well. Will that even show well on here? Yeah, you can see my program and all that. So you can see my little Windows Vista down here with all my icons. Just keep it in mind, I'm not running on Vista. It's a modification I have. So what we're going to do, I was originally going to play Tokyo Extreme Racer. But I had the urge to play Gran Turismo 2, it was on my mind. So, rather than fiddle about with all the shenanigans in Tokyo Extreme Racer, I thought I'd do this instead. Oh yeah. So, gym was fun. I wanted to get back into it. It had been quite a while. Since I originally done it, it'd been like, what, 5 years? Yeah. Yeah, it's been roughly 5 years since I went to gym. Probably. So, going back, and especially doing a different gym. Whereas before, I was in a community gym run by the council. You still have to pay for it and all that, but the whole thing is still the same. It's a gym, and you do gym things. You work out. You get your game on. And the thing is, it doesn't really set in how different a gym can be. Like, yeah, you're gonna have the equipment. The equipment's always gonna be there. You have the equipment. It might be a different brand. Might be different. It could be the same equipment. Oh, it's not showing correctly, is it? Oh, that's not fun. There we go. That should be alright. I think. Is there any way we could check this? Let's go to a dealership. And then we'll get back onto the topic of gyms and things. No apparent body or cut off or anything like that. Actually, the map's a little cut off. That is roughly what I see. Just at the outermost edges. Of what I want to see. Yeah, it doesn't sink in just how different gyms can be in general. So you might have each gym you go to might have a treadmill, might have pull down lats and all that kind of stuff. But the branding on them might be a little bit different. But sometimes, or most of the time, you can tell by the branding if the product is going to be any good or not. Because you might, the treadmill, pull down lat, rowing machine or whatever might look cool as hell. But it only goes so far and might not do as good a job as other ones. But the stuff on here is fantastic. And it was a step above. Like, we're paying a few quid more than my previous gym. Obviously with a concession, it brought me down to like, what, 30 quid. Give or take, from when I originally done it. And now it's like, what, 29 with a discount. But it goes up to 38 next month. So that is very interesting. Oh, 2 person? Okay. But the atmosphere in the gym can be dictated by who goes there. The community gym is basically the OAP hangout place with a couple of youngins there. Meanwhile, oh god, sorry, I was checking something. Yeah, meanwhile, it is interesting in general because the old gym that I went to, it was mainly OAPs that went there with some young folk going on occasion. Or they would be there, but like OAPs would have a session there. They'd have a thing where it's like, okay, we're gonna take you to the gym today and get you a little bit of exercise. So they sit there, so they do their exercises. And overall, it wasn't. Them being there isn't an issue. It's how they handle things afterwards that became the issue. And what I mean is, OAPs were really bad for not cleaning down equipment. You have people in, oh god, like 70s? They were getting in a little bit of exercise. It's nothing like the youngins were doing. And I can say youngins, I'm an old person at this point. Jokingly, of course. OAPs there, and they just weren't taking care of equipment. what you're meant to do is proper gym etiquette. When you're finished with a piece of equipment, you can leave your stuff there, go off and grab a rag, and put some cleaning stuff on it, and then wipe the machine down to keep it clean. OAP is just not doing that. So the gym overall, it did the job for what it was supposed to do, but it wasn't being taken care of. I don't know the percentage of people that were guilty of it, but from my eyes, there were a substantial amount of older people that just didn't take care of it. They were getting on it, they were using it for about 5-10 minutes, and then getting off of it, just not wiping it down. They were just moving to the next thing. And it was really annoying. But then you had the whole bathroom situation as well. Now, that one, well, changing room situation, some were a little more open than others, in terms of people in general. It wasn't all that pleasant, to say the least. What the hell? A Corvette? No, that's not a Corvette, that's a Ford? What is that convertible? But no, the gym experience overall has been improved. The only downside is the changing rooms. It's just basically a wooden container. Like they have a station for blow drying your hair. There's 2 of those, and there's two changing areas. It's not an open area. It's like the changing area for a shower. Not shower. A shower area and a swimming pool. Or it's like a swimming pool changing area. It's like a small cubicle, but it's made out of wooden pallets. Like what? Couldn't you afford to do it properly? I'm spitting out again. Son of a bitch. We were doing so good. Ah, there we go. That is tasty. But the only downside to this gym is it's a little... It's been around for about 4 or 5 years at this point. This particular one. And it still has that new feeling to it. Things don't quite seem fleshed out. You walk in, there's a whole bunch of equipment. Or you don't walk in, you scan yourself in. And then there's a whole bunch of equipment. And you're like, where the hell's changing rooms? And then ask the question. And dude's like, okay, it's new here, that's obvious, it's over here. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And I went to investigate it, and it's like 2 wooden pallets standing up with doors on them. Like, huh? It feels like the place was just built last week. That gym needs an overhaul. It really does. Like, I didn't expect them to try and cram as much stuff in there as they did. Like, yes, things are spacious and well placed for the most part. But there's like, 40 people in there? Well, not quite as much as that. There's a fair amount of people in there in general. More than the previous gym that I went to by a landslide. But it's like 3 bathrooms and 2 changing rooms. It's like, what? One of the bathrooms is accessible for people with wheelchairs. So if you want to go in, if you're got a wheelchair, you can get in the building. You can get in the bathroom. And there is actually enough room for people with wheelchairs to move around, which is fantastic. But like the overall aesthetic of the gym is great, but it needs a little bit of work. It needs that changing area. That's a corner you have to de-accelerate. Woo! You slayed. There we go. Yeah. But no, overall, it has been fun. I did a lot more than I had any right to do from the first time back to 5 years. So like, oh, what was it? I think it was leg press? I think it was leg press, I'll have to check. Was it leg press? Let me have a look. Let me have a look. One of them was £100. Yeah, leg press at £100. But every kind of exercise was done at 10 sets of 10, so we did 100. So basically, you do 10 of that exercise, and that's one set, and then you do that 10 times to make 100. So I did the little doohickey that's you grab the things and then you pull it around. I did that for 100. I did leg press for 100. I did thighs for 100. And then I did like 25 minutes on treadmill. And in all honesty, like, I feel like flat. It's been that long. But at the same time, I'm surprised I haven't degraded more. Because leg press, you're putting your legs up and you're pushing against this backboard. That was set to £100. The rest of the stuff that I did was set to 140. So it is something. It is interesting, and it is very interesting when you get right down to it. It is fun. What do we get? Unlimited edition RX-7. Oh, we got the concept car. Let's go. The limited edition version of it. It's the concept. It's the copperhead with a body kit on it. With the RX-7 GTC from 1999. Oh, it has a pre-applied body kit. It has racing shenanigans on it. 298 horsepower. Woo! We got a shit low 270R. Not a fan of that one. But today I was not only surprised at what I can do, but I hadn't degraded as much as I had thought, which is fun, I guess. Because when I was originally doing it, I was going all out. I put a lot into it. Oh crap. There was one that you grab the things and then you push forward. you grab them from about here, and then you're sitting horizontal and you're pushed forward on them. You can also pull on them if you want to do that way. But at that one I was doing about £200, but I wasn't doing it as much as I was doing these other ones. I did maybe 5 or 6 of the ones at 200, and I'm like, my arms are done. But that was years ago. I think if I did that now, I probably could do a little bit more. Oh, we doing this Grindelwald race. This one did give me trouble in the past, but we can do it. We have a Supra. The Supra could take on a substantial part of this game. Like, the Supra RZ is just such a good, well-rounded vehicle in general. Oh, we sniped that. Don't worry, Cobra, Shelby, Daytona Cafe. I'm the faster one here. Gear 5 needs a little bit of work. Yeah, no, it has been very pleasant so far. It's a little weird to maneuver that building, but it'll do for what I need to do. Yeah, and he now has to struggle through his gears. Meanwhile, I do not. Yeah, buddy. And across the line. That was too easy. That's a 400 horsepower race. I'm not even close. Shelby Cobra Coupe Daytona. That's what it is in English. And let me tell you, it is one hell of a nice vehicle. And it's a little lost center, isn't it? That's the trouble with these things, you never get it quite right. So, save game. After every single race, we are going to sit there and save, save, save. Oh. Burn 3,099 calories. Oh. Yeah, there's no way we're doing 250. What did we get? Let's see what we got. Oh, Jaguar XYR. Oh, wait, not Celica. The Celica concept. Which that looks so much better than the actual car that came out. God, this looks great. And how's Chad doing on this fine evening? I'm actually having quite a good old time here. So historic, that'll get me something. Oh no, this one got with the thing above. Do I want pure sports car? I think I do. At some point, we will have to tackle the super licenses. I don't. Oh, fuck it, Trail Man. Of course it is. Yeah, we've increased the gear ratio a little bit for gear 5 and 6 towards acceleration just ever so slightly. So it shouldn't linger on 5 anymore. And the final ratio is geared more towards acceleration, just a smidge. And just so we get that extra little bit of power. Let's go! There we go, we corrected ourselves. What the hell are you driving? That was Boris? That is something, that's for sure. Brother. Oh, little dude fucked it up. Oh, I got it back. Oh. making so many great corners. And across the line, minute 32, there we go. All in a Toyota Supra. Against a TVR Cerebro 4.2, a Tommy Cairo, that's what it was, that's the blue one. Acura NSX, Mazda RX-7 Type RS, and a Lotus Motorsport Elise, a race car. Or a race car inspired Lotus Elise. Always some fun stuff in it. That was only for a milli, but it seems to be a conversion from yen, or a conversion to yen. What would a million yen be? Let's have a find out, shall we? Let's see. Let's do USD. $69,000? That's $6,902. What? Whatever. I don't know if it's right. Well, it's whatever. Right, so 32 minutes in. Best grab that. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Now, what do we get? Because I'm going to do the second one in that sports car. Because all we're doing... Oh, wait, what? A 6. It's got a 6 in it. Oh, the Tuscany Speed 6. Ooh. The TVR Tuscany Speed 6 is legendary. UK made car. Yeah, the TVR Cerbera 3.5, 4, 4.5. Yeah, the Tuscany Speed 6, and then the Speed 12. The Speed 12 having such a goddamn massive engine in it. That a V12. It was one of the few cars that ever had a V12 like that. And it was insane. However, it was so unstable. Basically, only 3 existed. Yeah. Only 3 existed. No. Oh, do you want more back? Do you want more spring rate at the back? How is chat doing? How are you all doing? How is your day? How is your evening? Or whatever it is for you. Wherever you are in the world, it's a time for you, and I hope you're doing good. Also, what do you think of the CRT and the little retro layer? A nice throwback to 5 years ago. Actually, it was like 3 years ago that it lasted this. So, to explain the whole retro CRT aesthetic, with the scan lines and all that shenanigans, I wanted to have a little bit of a retro setup. I wanted to have something to show that I'm doing retro and that I'm doing on original hardware. I wanted to give people a glimpse of what it was like to play these games back in the day on an old CRT and have it try and resemble that on stream. Back when I originally did this, there wasn't quite as many utilities available. Like, I'm still using similar utilities as to what I used back then. However, the technology has only gotten better with time. So I am using a more customizable scanline filler. I am using the same PNG, which is hilarious when you think about it. All I need to do is figure out how to turn it into a bit more spherical. Because when you think about it, CRT TV, big box. You were lucky if you had a flat screen CRT, because it was a flat panel of glass. The screen is glass and it's like a photon tube, or it's a cathode ray tube that shoots a photon beam at a glass panel, and that's how you get your picture. And when you look at a CRT straight on, there's a bit of a curvature to the picture, because the photon is being fired at that glass, and basically the picture is curved because of that glass. Ah shit. We restart. There's no saving that. Actually, there kind of is, but reversing in this game is terrible. Because like your car has to come to a stop. Then you have to hold triangle, which is what pushes your car in reverse, and with an automatic gearbox. And then you have to wait for your car to actually reverse, and it's annoying. Because like, come to a standstill. Now switch to reverse. What? But if you're doing it IRL, you can just throw the car in reverse. An automatic or a manual gearbox. Whoa, what the? Holy Star Wars The Clone Wars. They got 3 of the same car. Verify, what are these? Porsches? They're not Porsches. Definitely not. Yeah, no. The reason I wanted to do the whole retro thing, in terms of streaming, at least the CRT and retro aesthetic of these retro streams, is just because I wanted people to show off what it was like to use a CRT and show what it looked like, or at least try to show what it looked like. Because for me, it's a blast from the past. And there's many people that watch this channel that just straight up didn't grow up with a CRT. They might have had one in their household, but they never watched it. Because it could have been sitting in the attic or put to the side because it wasn't working. The CRTs, well, it's heavy as hell. Good lord. The meme isn't a lie. When people are like, okay, this 20-inch CRT requires a bodybuilder or 5 people. Because they just were generally that heavy, unless you had like a small, more 12-inch one. The 12-inch ones were still heavy, but they weren't terrible for like a teenager to carry. They were fine. I would class them as fine. But that's just me. You know, I played these on I think it was a 14-inch CRT growing up. But when it came time to getting a newer CRT, I had a portable video player. And that stuck with me for many, many years. I used to play my PlayStation 3 on it. Essentially, PlayStation 3 does composite video out as well. And that was my method of using a PS3 on my little portable TV. And it was always funny because if you tried to watch a Blu-ray movie over a composite video signal, you essentially got a black and white image. And it was incredible. It just didn't have the color values. It had the quality and all that shit. Actually, not even that. You were watching a Blu-ray at Oh, what's the resolution? 576i. The I stands for interlacing. And I'm not about to put you through that because interlacing is terrible. Alright, game safe. Let's go see what we earned. You know what's really sad? Is that we're now in an age where kids are gonna grow up and be like, wait, you used to own your games? Like, okay. The way gaming is going right now. Oh, Tommy Kyra is ZC3. Oh, it's a little shitbox that. The way Tommy Kyra. The way gaming's going right now, it deserves to fail. Gaming deserves to fail for the route it took. Like, I don't mean console gaming, I mean gaming as a whole. PC gaming, console gaming, handheld gaming. We have companies out here like Analog making new versions of retro products. But people just generally don't talk about the failure of it. The console itself is a success, but those failures of it that people just generally haven't talked about. They haven't even mentioned it in videos. They haven't even thought to look up the failures of it. And what I mean is, the Analog Pocket. It had a distinct issue. I think it could have been rectified now. If it has been, then that's fine. That's fantastic to hear. But when it first came out, people were having... There were some few reports of the glue melting and the screen was coming away from the body of the handheld. But people didn't talk about that. No one mentioned it. And this was happening before major reviews hit the scene. Or not major reviews, some reviews. All the big fake places like IGN and all that had their crap come out. And I do use the word fake. Because for the most part, from what I've seen of IGN's reviews of games that I have played, they're faker than freaking Kim Kardashian's body. Like, okay, they're not AI generated, they are clearly written by a person, but the term review doesn't fit well for what's happening. Like, I'm always going to go back to the Forza Horizon 5 review on this. Review. Because you read through it, it tells you about the game in the style of an overview, and then they're like, that's a review of it. But you just described what the game is. What else is there? What is your experience with it? What happened? When you do a review, when you review a game, you go into it and you're like, okay, when the intro thing starts out, you pick your car, I pick the whatever, and X and Y. You immediately take it into X. You do this, you do that. None of that is mentioned. It's like, well, Forza Horizon 5 is big and vast. It looks beautiful. There's a lot of things to do. And like, that's... You're describing every Forza Horizon game. What about this one? It's in Mexico. Ha! Son of a bitch. But no, back on topic. Gaming right now deserves to crash the hell out. It really does. Like, the one thing, aside from friends that are keeping me in gaming right now and actually experiencing new games, is the indie scene. The indie scene right now in gaming is fantastic. Arguably, actually not even arguably, it is literal fact. Games like Schedule 1, Phasmophobia, even really, really small games like, oh, there was an oil game. Ah, fuck, what was it? Like oil slick or something like that. Let me check my Steam real quick. Oh, I can't bloody remember. It could have been removed from my library because demos technically get removed from your library if the person behind it wants that to happen. But the indie scene right now with like things like SP Grand Prix, Harlequest. We played Harlequest on the channel before. I've played a little bit of SP Grand Prix as well on the channel. Or maybe not. Did I play SP Grand Prix on the channel? Oh no, I played that on my own time. SP Grand Prix, it is basically a modern version of virtual racing. Even down to the camera angles and various aspects of it. It is meant to invoke that nostalgic feeling, and it is fantastic. It is a great little racing game by Ross Games. Very much worth the money for it. But the indie scene is what's indie scene and the Badlands is what keep me in gaming right now, because there is nothing there's little to nothing good about gaming currently. Like you buy a game, you don't own it. You buy a game, it is more than likely going to be live service. You buy a game, patches, updates. Not even that. This has been a gripe of mine for ages. And a new gripe spawned from that plus a GPU manufacturer. I'll get into that in a second. Because the buzzword that's floating around this year is AI. And that has a lot to do with kind of one of the reasons why I hate gaming in this day and age, right now. And it is worth talking about, it is worth spreading the message. Because when you get right down to it, AI is kind of the bane of everyone's existence right now. Like, with my graphics card vendor, NVIDIA, they're my main go-to because I rely on them. And they're screwing up so bad. Now, why do I rely on NVIDIA? Why do I not go AMD? I mean, AMD, it makes sense. I have an AMD Ryzen 5900X in here. Why don't I just go AMD for my graphics card? Do I need DLSS? No. In fact, I'm against the modern usage of DLSS and frame generation. So basically, what frame generation is, it's AI. It's AI trying to predict what the next frame is. To get more FPS. That will allow you to get more FPS in your games. But the frames are going to be generated by AI. So you're getting 4 FPS in a game. You turn on 4x frame generation. That then becomes 1 real frame and then 4 additional AI generated frames. Or is it 3? One of the two. So it is partially down to the AI segments in your graphics, the AI cores in your graphics card producing those frames. And yes, you are getting a lot more FPS, but the frames are not real. They are not properly generated. And it introduces input latency. So you press a button. So input latency is from when you press a button to when the action happens on screen. You can see that when I bring up my thing here. Will it even work? Well, NVIDIA or MSI Afterburner is up. So I cannot put the overlay on this application, but you've seen it before, where I've got like a little frame time graph. That is telling me the milliseconds it takes for my graphics card to render a frame. Alright, input latency is from when you press a button to when something happens on screen. That also has to go through render times as well. But the point is, you're not, when you're generating fake frame, what the hell is this? Tom's Angel, Tom's, Casual Tom's, that's a Toyota of some degree. But yeah, when you get right down to it, the AI fake frames introduces latency, a huge amount of it as well. A lot of people don't care. Even developers don't care at this point. Because we're now at a point where things like DLSS are turned on by default. DLSS takes your game and renders it at a lower resolution and then uses AI to upscale it. So you can save on performance by doing that. But you sacrifice a little bit in the way of graphics quality. And that is actually not okay. It is to a point where I've seen this personally before, where games are just so unoptimized on the PC side of things that they're like, oh yeah, turn on DLSS, things will be fine. And even over at Toasty Bros, I will call them out for this. I love them to pieces. I watch their content fairly often because it is genuinely interesting. But the only thing that annoys me is with their benchmarks is when they turn on DLSS, like, huh? So you want to, I mean, it is their choice. On certain budget builds, it is required because they're running like a 3050 or something like that. And a 3050 with its VRAM and specs are fairly limited for today's games. But someone who's running it could very well benefit from that. What is running here? Oh no, living on Special Stage R5. Woo! But there's some more modern builds that they've done where DLSS isn't necessary, but they turn it on anyway. And I'm like, it would be nice to see the actual performance results. Because that card can probably still do decently without your DLSS helping. Now, I'm not entirely against DLSS. It has a place. It has a place. But it's only for more recent cards, like 20 series, RTX 20 series up to the current generation, 50 series. I don't remember 10. No, 10 series can do it, I think. I can't remember. But my point is, it should be a driver level tool that all NVIDIA cards can use. But it should only be specifically used with older cards to help them play more recent titles. And I don't mean like, oh, your 250 megabyte card or 500 megabyte card can now play Last of Us. I'm on about like a GTX 1066 gig. That could probably now play Last of Us with DLSS, but it can't because it's not a driver level thing. But Nvidia has the ability to make it driver level. But they're just not. This is an actual fucking race. Oh my damn. But no, right now gaming is definitely not worth it. That's another Mark IV Super. That's a race car. Or rather, modern gaming is not worth it. You're frankly paying too much to essentially rent a game. Doesn't matter what people tell you, you are renting a game. That game can be taken away from you without repercussion. Because of your end license user agreement, and we are largely to blame for it. As soon as publishers and all that wanted to start pushing for digital, that's when we should have been like, no. I started pushing for digital years ago. On the PC side, it makes more sense. On the console side, less so. Good lord, are we really? I know, I have more thoughts than that, but we'll get onto that after the race. I want to see just where we stand with it. We're getting there slowly. Oh, he's got that four. Oh, that's the Skyline. Is that not 34? No wonder he's in front. He's got that four-wheel drive. He's got all the power in the wheels. Oh, we nearly had that. We screwed it up. I could fucking see correctly. But no. Back in the day, we used to own our games. Like, we actually did. Not like licensing ownership or anything like that. There was always a thing that popped up saying that you can't commit piracy or anything like that. But there was nothing that didn't say the game wasn't yours. Now, there's very strategic wording in place in your user and license agreement that states that, which is frankly dog shit and very much unfair and very anti-consumer. Ubisoft is on the back end of that, as well for the crew. Because people are like, yeah, they're shutting servers down. But they went the extra mile and started to remove it from people's libraries from the Ubisoft store. And I also think they might have even done it to some Steam users. I can't quite remember that one. Either way, it's a shitty thing for them to do overall. They should not have done that. There is no way they should have. Oh, we buying that. We're gonna buy each of these. Every boy. $5.59 PS. I mean, I could force all that power. I'll do that race again and then just absolutely shaft them. Because that's what we can do if we have that extra power. No, back in the day we used to own our games. And we're now at a point where publishers have far too much control. Publishers and devs have far too much control. And they really shouldn't. That one game you bought 20 years ago, you should still be able to play it. Let's do stage 3, buddy. That one game you bought 20 years ago, you should still be able to play it. That one game you bought a couple of years ago, you should still be able to play it. There are games coming out now that are getting shut down months after release, or even at least a year after release. How did we slip out? Gaming today is just far too costly. You don't want to own it. Although, that being said, if you modify your console, there's nothing that manufacturer can do to stop you. Because the case is already settled in court. George Haas versus Sony. George Haas came out the winner. When you buy a system and it's in your hands, it's yours to do with what you want. Guys like Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, they don't have to let you have access to their server for doing this. It is their right to ban you, but they cannot take your they cannot take you to court for fucking with their stuff. At least they shouldn't be able to. I mean, Gabby Bowser got screwed over by it. But I believe those tools are using Nintendo's stuff. Yeah, we now have far too much power in this car. It is just not. It is just not all that good anymore. I only needed yeah. We're doing it again, but we're only going stage 2? Stage 2 turbo? I believe we are putting too much power to the car. Not boss stage 1. Actually, stage 1 is all we would have needed for this. Anything else is just overkill. Whatever. Doing stage 2, we're not at like 700 horsepower. We're not 500, we're like... No, we're at something. Car, let's hammer it home. We have more power than other guys, except for the guy in front. He seems to have more power than us, but he's four-wheel drive. Stop trying to spin it, you retard. I mean, for the most part, we're better than that mine's R34. There's always that, when it comes to this game, there's always that feeling that you get. It's like, okay, the car feels sturdy, go for it. There's always that feeling. Like when it just snaps into place. You know it's corrected itself. There we go. And that's how we win the race. And across the line! I wouldn't mind trying that with a stage 1 turbo on this. And see what happens. I think we're also at a point where you'll get multiple cars per race victory. That's a 5 million. On God. How to God! I may have actually forgotten to buy the stage 1 turbo. But for the most part, we weren't using any turbo. We didn't need to! This car is so good without it. It's got like 60 foot-pound of torque. Or 60 kilogram kgm of torque. But no, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. We've been live for 1 hour, 11 minutes. It's almost 10 p.m. my time, which is hilarious to think about. Right, what did we get? What did we get? A Nissan 400R. I mean, it's 4-wheel drive. Wait, a 400R. Okay, let's do that one again. I'll do it with a weaker. I'll do it with the same car, but a stage 1 turbo, because we won that exceptionally easily. Na 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 na. Now now. Some races. Oh bollocks. Some races give you multiple cars per race, so if you want all the cars in that lineup, you have to do the race multiple times. Granted, it is a great way to get yourself some money. In my case, I have to. I'm just gonna outright buy. Oh. And let's just buy the stage 1 turbo and buy better tires. Na, 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 na. Yeah, we're gonna buy better. We're gonna buy softer tires, I believe. Yeah, we'll do soft. We'll go real soft on this one, super soft. Because with the tire being softer, it's going to spread out more and get a bit more contact patch. Sure, I'm going to go and get a ABS. Not ABS, traction control. Oh, that's wrong one. That's racing modification. Yeah, we're not up for that. Racing modification, I think guts the car more, puts in a doodad. Yeah, TCS. Traction control! And what we'll do is we'll go down and we'll do a thing. We'll do that little thing. Oh, what's on my news? Turkey issues urgent travel warning for UK tourists with strict entry rules. Okay, I don't care. I'm not going to Turkey. It's a shame for those who are, though. Apparently, there's now stricter rules for going in. Yeah, we'll do this one. This is the easiest one here to do. I think one of them is Red Rock Valley. And one is Laguna Seca, I believe. Yeah, we're on stage 1 already. Oh, I've got me a bit of tires. Acceleration a bit more hard. Initial. Put traction control to 15. A bit more towards acceleration and we're Gucci. We should be fine now. That is stage 1 turbo. So we're going to have more turbo than we originally did, which did get us fairly far. But we should also have better grip. Can salvage it. What are we third? Stage 1 turbo is going hard. Let's see what we can do here. Does this mean we could have actually won this in the beginning for the stage 1 turbo? I think so. I just think all this needed was some well-timed corners and a turbo. Oh, we was fighting. No, you don't! I've got you beat, sucker! Yeah, we could have done this with a stage 1 turbo. Mine's R34 and R33, and this with 270 Master Speed RX-7 GTC. Let's see what we get. Na 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 na. God, this game is fantastic. I still don't like the fact we lost traction so easily and we spun out. Or we, obviously you're like that. Yeah, the traction control should have kicked in and helped stabilize that a little bit. It didn't feel like it. It really didn't. But we still done it. What's our thing? Is it still going to be an Decibel 400? No, it isn't. It's an R33 drag car. Oh no, it's the R3 main Skyline. So yeah, we did the same race twice. Got two different vehicles. So we are now at that point. Alrighty. We already have a bunch of superb and not so superb vehicles. In our arsenal. Now obviously, I am a little bit limited. And it is nice to keep some of the weaker ones around. The reason I say that, now even more so, is simply down to the fact there's races that require MR vehicles, mid-engine rear drive, FR, front engine rear drive, FF, front engine front drive, rear engine rear drive, that kind of thing. But no, that is all I have for you tonight. I don't know if I'm streaming with the bell ends tomorrow over on Twitch, because that's a thing. If the bell ends are streaming, it's either Annie streaming a game on her own and I'm just in chat, just doing whatever, or if we're playing League or FAZ or anything like that. So twitch.tv/carpcorps, you want to go over there, give Annie a follow. I'll appear on there on occasion. The bell ends appear on there on occasion. But no, right now I am tired. I am very, very sore. It is incredible just how sore I am right now. Like I said, I didn't expect it. Or rather, I expected worse. Because like I said, I was doing all these exercises. We did 100 chest things. You grab the thing and you're like, nyeh. And then there's leg press, which is like you get on, you're laid back, and then you lift your legs up, and then you put them on this board, and then you're pushing the board. I did 100 of those, 100 of the chest things, which not only works out your chest, it works out your muscle here as well, like your arm. It works that out. It's just that area. It works that out. I also did thighs. So you put your thighs on this cushion thing, and then you push them in. But I did the opposite one to that, because this machine you could do it both ways. You could put your thigh on the outside of them and push them in, or you could put your thighs on the pads themselves on the other side, or you can flip the pads around so that they're pressing against the outside of your leg, and you have to push them out. That was doing the pushing out one. So that's what I was doing. Anyway, that one was rather... That was a new one for me, that's for bloody sure. But I was also doing treadmill for 25 minutes. At about 7.5 miles an hour. Roughly. To change music and all that, and answer a certain fucking David and his reels. Oh god. To answer him, I had to turn the speed down for a little bit. so I can actually pick up my phone and be like, yeah, and to change music. But yeah, I'm worn out from all that. Each of them was 100. Although the chest one or the muscle one or my upper torso one, that was a little bit more because for that one, I did 5 sets and then took a break, and then I did set 6, 7, 8, 9, and got halfway through 10. Because I was that worn out, I just stopped that one. And after that, what I did is I restarted that set, so it was somewhere along the lines of 105 that I did for that one. That was a little bit extra. But all of them except for the leg press were set to 140 pounds. So I was using my legs to push away 100 pounds. But when I was doing the chest thing, I was pulling 140 pounds from here all the way around. And the same with my thighs. I was pushing the weight away with 140 pounds. Or pushing away 140 pounds worth of weight. But that was ultimately fun. We also had a little conversation on why gaming is virtually dead at this point. We never really raise our voices about this until it's too late. People are like, oh no, it's another live service. But then the live service goes down, you can't play the game, and then people are like, why the fuck can you not play the game? Why didn't we bring this conversation up years ago? Why did we have to be so retarded that we wait till the last minute? Live service games have been floating around for years. No one talked about it. It has only become a conversation recently when we're balls deep in it. Nintendo with their game cards. Or the game key cards. That is really what is bringing that up, along with Ubisoft and the crew. If Ubisoft never removed that from people's libraries, then the conversation wouldn't be as big as it is. And we wouldn't have cared as much. We don't tend to care until it is too late. Like when those false reports about Blu-ray discs being stopped manufacturing, or Sony shutting down Blu-ray plants, or those plants for making Blu-ray discs, that was a condition. That was conditional. It wasn't for the gaming sector. But overall, we just generally don't talk about things until we're either balls deep in it or it's just too late. We had our chance to fix this years ago. Whenever a problem rises, you nip it in the bud and you push back. But people just didn't care. They weren't worried, they didn't care, they're like, it's whatever. In the case of Need for Speed, that was a bad game. I'm sorry, it was an annoying and bad game. It looked beautiful, nice throwback, but ultimately it was just bad. No one cared. We're at a point where we do rely far too much on online. More than we actually should. We're using it more than we should, is what I'm trying to say. We're relying on it far too much. To the point that it's now integral to everything we do. We go outside, we're connected online. You go to the pub, we're connected online, that's how you order. We're at a point. If this was back... Let's go back 20 years. 2005. We weren't nearly as integrated on the internet as we were. YouTube was just there. It was up and coming. If the internet got shut down in 2005, it wouldn't have affected us in that time period as much as it would have affected us now. We would have still had a cellular network to make phone calls and text messages. We would have still had television broadcasts. You could go out and buy VHS tape, DVDs, up and coming Blu-ray. You could still watch your movies and all that. You could still live 98% of your life, essentially. Actually, scrap that. You didn't even need the internet back then, 100%. Without the internet now, everyone would go crazy. We're so enticed and we're so entrapped and addicted to the internet. At this day and age, if your internet goes down for 5-10 minutes, I guarantee at least one person's going to have an anxiety attack. Someone's going to panic. Someone's going to be like, oh, my internet. Where's my TikTok? Where's my Instagram Reels? Where's my Snapchat? Where is my X? Where's my Y? What am I going to do? There's all these things in my house called books. There's all these little discs in my house. What do I do with them? What is paper? And I know that sounds like I'm exaggerating, and I'm actually not. There are people that are going to be like that. They will shut down. They themselves, as a person, an entity, a living thing, they will shut down if they don't have the internet for 5 minutes. We're all addicted in one way or another. If the internet shut down for me, no more streams, no more videos. I would only have communication with my UK peeps. Would I be worried? A little bit. I've been without the internet before. And I mean internet as a whole. I don't mean your internet service provider. I mean your mobile cellular data. The separate telecommunication from the service that sends SMS messages. You won't get RCS text messages. You won't be able to do X, you won't be able to do Y. You'll just have basic text messaging. That's what we were doing in 2005. We're at a point now where we're just so reliant on the internet for everything that it's broken the barriers and it's taking over games and consoles. Because there's now all digital consoles. Now, that was kind of laughed at for the most part when... Actually, it was never really laughed at. Because we've had this kind of thing before. Not for consoles. But there have been attempts to make all digital consoles that never really took off. But when a big known brand does it, and does it in a way that brings people in, it becomes a problem. Going all digital, coming from a person that has a huge Steam library. I'm a PC user. We have nothing to worry about in that regard. Because of piracy. Now, yes, piracy is very much illegal. And for the most part, morally wrong. It is only morally correct when people can't collect benefits off of people buying it. So if a studio went defunct or shut down and their game is still out there, They're not making money from it. They can't make money from it. So piracy is fine in that regard. But if it's a game that can still be bought to this day, and you can support a publisher by doing it, you should very much buy it. Always. Unless the price is very much unreasonable, like Arab Drifting. I think Mutahar on Some Ordinary Gamers covered that one. Arab Drifting or something like that. So, Grand Theft Auto clone on PlayStation. Very weird. But point is, support when you're able to. Gaming, like I said, gaming is very much dying. For console players, it is really, really bad. You can... Things like PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now, for the most part, is fine. Because they're putting out games... They're putting games on that service that isn't really big and popular right now. But people still want to play it. Game Pass is putting all the new games out there on Game Pass day one. People are downloading them, and the publishers behind those big games are the ones that's collected the benefits from being on Game Pass, and it's leaving other studios in the dust. Other studios are not able to make money, or nearly as much money as they should have been if you had bought it from the store, or even from the same digital storefront. Game Pass might have its value and benefits to some, but is ultimately a harm to the overall sphere of gaming. You are actively harming publishers. Well, studios. If you're doing Game Pass like that. If you're... Game Pass, from my point of view, is essentially a try before you buy. But it's not being used for that. It's just being used to play all the latest games without having to pay that big cost. Which is respectable, and I see why, because gaming is horrendously expensive for no reason in this day and age. Take Grand Theft Auto 6, for example. If that came out at $100 like people are speculating it would, it's not. But people are like, it's going to cost $100. And freedom dollars, not maple syrup dollars. The studio, Rockstar and Take-Two would profit heavily from that. They'd earn back what they put into the game day one, and then everything else is just bonus and maintenance costs for GTA 6's GTA Online. Which they've got most of that covered already anyway, so whatever. The point is, in this day and age, you need to start pushing back against digital, at least on the console front. And on the Switch front. Because the Switch's keycards not containing the game, the Switch 2's keycards not containing the game is just insulting. Because it has been proven time and time again that the full game can be on the cartridge. Cyberpunk is one of the games, if I got a Switch 2, and I plan on getting one, especially when it gets modded, I'll buy a pre-modded one. That's exactly what I'll be doing. I'm not going to show content of that because Nintendo got snipers out there. They're watching everyone. However, the Switch 2 seems like the perfect form factor for my hands. The upgraded screen, the bigger screen, the form factor, the performance, they all seem like something I could do with. Everything else just looks really plasticky, weird, and bulky as all hell. I don't freaking know. But, point is, with the way gaming is going, at this point in time, you should be buying your PlayStation and Xbox games physically. And selective Switch games should be bought physically. If you can get the game on the cartridge, if the game is confirmed to be on the cartridge, that's what you should buy. Don't buy it from the storefront. Buy it physical. When you get that game, they cannot stop you from playing it. if you get a key card version of the game where you put the cartridge in and it has to download the full game, that's what you should avoid, because that is not your game. They could take that away from you at any time. Nintendo has proven that they can stop all that. They have a thing with they have a list of all the IDs for Switch games. Every one of them. If two of the same game come online at the same time, they block it. They can block physical games. So what is, they can block physical games, they can block cartridges. So what is the point of them trying to restrict even more? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Publishers and studios and all of that have far too much control, and like I said, we are largely to blame for it. We should have, when it comes to the PC side of things, we should have pushed back when Nvidia started pushing out DLSS. We don't want that. Even when it comes down to AI, all of the reviewers that you can trust avoid using frame generation. And if they had any sense, they'd avoid using DLSS. That's not a dig at anyone in particular, to be honest. But there are reviewers out there that will test frame gen and DLSS, and I'm like, avoid that one. But no, that's gonna be it for now. I've been too ranty tonight. That's all we got time for tonight. I need rest. I need to chill. So thank you for watching. For those of you who popped in for even a brief second, thank you for watching. And as always, stay safe, take care, and bye.